Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the arrival of the official party. Time orderly, strike 2 bells. Chief Hospital Corpsman Rene Cantu, arriving. Time orderly, strike 2 bells. Chief Hospital Corpsman retired Mario Batiste, arriving. Time orderly, strike 2 bells. Surface Warfare Engineering School Command, Great Lakes, Executive Officer, arriving. Please remain standing for the presentation of colors and the playing of the national anthem. Color Guard, parade the colors.
All right, Chief. Color Guard. Attention. Gary, colors. All right, face. Mark. Forward. Mark. Colors. Oh.
And salute.
Present. Mark.
Color Guard, post the colors.
All right, Chief. Order. Mark. 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 Mark.
Ready, 2. Chaplain Rockroar will now deliver the invocation.
Let us pray. Good and gracious God, we come before you with thankful hearts, recognizing the selfless service and dedication Rene Cantu has given to the United States. We know, O Lord, that you are the one who has enabled him to serve these 20 years. Today, as this chapter closes, may he continue to heed your call. As civilian life sets in, grant him the grace needed to continue this day forth and forevermore. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated. Bosun, post the side boys. This ceremony will be an uncovered event for non-participants. Good morning, Commander Gill, Command Master Chief Theodore, distinguished guests, shipmates, family, and friends. I am Chief Petty Officer Sean Pettingill, and I will be your Master of Ceremonies for today's retirement. I'd like to welcome all of you to this special occasion marking the retirement of fellow Chief and good friend, Chief Cantu. We are gathered this morning to witness the final stage in a very full and productive 20-year military career. We are also gathered to say thanks to a good shipmate. Thanks for his many contributions, which in their own unique way have made our Navy a stronger and more capable force in our never-ending fight for peace in this sometimes troubled world. Thanks for his many dedicated hours and personal initiatives that have helped to make our Navy the proud professional organization it is today. Thanks for being the type of leader that has ensured the next generation of sailors are ready to meet the challenges of tomorrow. Just as this is the end of one phase in his life, it is the beginning of another. So, our gathering today also gives us the opportunity to wish him every success in the future as he looks forward to the new challenges and rewards. I extend an especially warm welcome to Chief Cantu's wife, Isabel, daughter, Mia, sons, Aiden, Ian, and Landon, and the rest of his family that could be here today. I know that you, more than any one of us, are vividly aware of the sacrifices that Chief Cantu has made in the service of our country, and I speak for the entire command when I say how pleased we are to have you here today. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce Commander Brian Gill, Executive Officer, Surface Warfare Engineering School Command, Great Lakes.
Good morning. Good morning. On behalf of the Commanding Officer of Surface Warfare Engineering Schools Command Great Lakes, I'm Lieutenant Commander Brian Gill. I just wanted to send a special thank you and welcome to Chief Cantu's family, and thank you all for the support that you've given him over the last 20 years. As all of us that wear the uniform know that we can't do this alone, and the sacrifice and the service that you all make to us is what makes this job easier for us to do, and for us to go out and lead the sailors, and then always having you guys to come home to is what makes this so special. So thank you for being here today, and thank you for your support to Rene over the last 20 years. And appreciate you guys being here, and congratulations to Chief. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it now gives me great pleasure to introduce our guest speaker, retired Chief Mario Batiste.
Hold on, I gotta put my spectacles on. Once you get old, you can't see shit. Alright, so, before I begin, I have to apologize. Because for anything I might say that's offensive or rude or inconsiderate, it's what my wife would say if she was here. She is not. So we will move on. Good morning. Shipmates, friends, family, and honored guests. So ever since I retired over a decade ago, I've worn that uniform 2 or 3 times. It was both an honor and a privilege to do so at the request of one of my junior sailors when he asked me to be his officiant for his wedding, also to pin his anchors on when he was promoted to chief. Now, I may not be able to fit my uniform because I've gotten a little thick in my old age, but it's still truly an honor and a privilege for me to be here. Not just as a fat retired chief, but as someone who understands deeply the what it means to walk the long road of military service, to wear those anchors, and to stand the watch for over 2 decades. Today we honor Chief Rene Cantu, who's done exactly that. 20 years of service, 20 years of commitment, sacrifice, and leadership. That's no small feat. It's not just a milestone, it's a testament to perseverance, grit, and unwavering dedication to something greater than self. So I'm not gonna lie, when I met Rene many years ago, I didn't think he was gonna make it past E3. But that's not my story to tell. Because the journey to 20 years of service is long and sometimes a difficult path. When you first join the Navy, you really don't know what you're in for. You might think you're there to learn a new trade or see the world. When I joined way back before some of you were born, my sole purpose was to do 4 years and to bounce. I think that was Rene's thing too when he came in, because he was on his last legs when he got to Great Lakes. And I was going to use his GI Bill, go to school, you know, all the usual stuff. But over time, you realize it's much more than that. It's about becoming part of a legacy, a brotherhood, a sisterhood built on trust, discipline, and sacrifice. It's about putting the mission and your shipmates ahead of yourself, even when you're exhausted, even when you're far from home. Rene, you've done just that. You've withstood long deployments, led in hard times, shouldered the burden that few outside this life truly understand. You've faced many challenges head on, whether it's being stationed with the Marines and arguing about what color crayon tastes best, or as you and I know as corpsmen, from being corpsmen, we're always doing more with less. Or mentoring that one sailor that kept you on the edge of throat punching them. And you did it with the kind of steady hand that defines what it means to be a chief. Now, when you spend that much time in the military, there's only one word that comes to mind, and that word is perseverance. Perseverance, it isn't flashy. It's not about grand speeches or medals. It's about showing up every single day. No matter how tired you are, no matter how thankless the job feels, it's about grinding through the hard days and still holding on to the Navy core values of honor, courage, and commitment, and maintaining military bearing. It's about taking care of your people when no one's watching, because you know that leadership isn't optional. It's a responsibility that you carry with pride. Chief, you didn't just survive the Navy, you endured it. You led through it, and you left the mark. You didn't wear the uniform, you honored it. And through it all, you did what chiefs do best. You served with humility. You stayed focused, mission focused, and you made sure those coming up behind you had someone to look up to. You didn't quit when it got hard. You stayed, you pushed through. And that perseverance is something that doesn't retire. It carries on in the sailors that you mentored and the lives you've impacted. To your family, let me say this. Your sacrifice matters just as much. The chief may have worn the uniform, but you held it down at home, on the home front. You kept things together when they were away. You endured uncertainty, the distance, and the demands of Navy life without the recognition that comes with rank. Thank you. None of this would be possible without your love and support. Rene, as you step into the next chapter, I want you to know that your legacy doesn't end here. It continues in the deck plates that you walked and the mess you've strengthened and the sailors that you've led. You leave the Navy better than you found it. And that is the highest compliment a chief can ever earn. So from one chief to another, I offer my respect, my admiration, and my gratitude. You stood the watch, you bore the weight, and now you've earned your rest. May your days ahead be filled with peace, purpose, and pride, because you've more than earned it. Fair winds and following seas, Chief Cantu, and thank you for your service. And I didn't cuss.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Cantu, on behalf of your shipmates, we present you with the military member's most cherished possession, the National Ensign of the United States of America, under which you have so proudly served and so honorably defended. This flag is the true emblem of our unity, thoughts, power, and purpose as a nation. Accept it, display it, and remember that the young men and women you have trained, guided, and inspired will follow in your footsteps and serve it with equal pride. Flag detail. Post. Ladies and gentlemen, the flag passing ceremony you are about to witness is meant as a tribute to the loyalty and patriotism demonstrated by Chief Cantu during his 20 years of military service. As Senior Harlan reads Old Glory, the flag is passed from sailor to sailor until it reaches Chief Cantu. We ask that you reflect upon where you may have been while Chief Cantu, and many others like him, were underway on the deck plates, mentoring and developing junior officers and sailors, while proudly serving this fine country we call home.
I am the flag of the United States of America. My name is Old Glory. I fly on top of the world's tallest buildings. I stand watch in America's halls of justice. I fly majestically over great institutions of learning. I stand guard with the greatest military power in the world. Look up and see me. I stand for peace, honor, truth, and justice. I stand for freedom. I am confident. I am arrogant. I am proud. When I am flown with my fellow banners, my head is a little higher, my colors a little truer, I bow to no one. I am recognized all over the world. I am worshipped, I am saluted, I am respected, I am revered, I am loved, and I am feared. I have fought in every battle of every war for more than 200 years. Gettysburg, Shiloh, Appomattox, San Juan Hill, the trenches of France, the Argonne Forest, Anzio, Rome, the beaches of Normandy, Guam, Okinawa, Tarawa, Korea, Vietnam, the Persian Gulf, and scores of places long forgotten by all, except those who were there with me. I was there. I led my sailors and Marines. I followed them. I watched over them. They loved me. I was on a small hill in Iwo Jima. I was dirty, battle-worn, and tired, but my sailors and Marines cheered me, and I was proud. I was at Ground Zero in New York City on September 11th as cowardly fanatics attacked America. I was raised from the ashes of once proud buildings by brave firefighters, heroes who risked their lives to save others, showing all that America, although bloodied, will never be beaten. For those who destroy me cannot win, for I am a symbol of freedom, of one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I have been soiled, burned, torn, and trampled on the streets of my own country. And when it is done by those who I have served with in battle, it hurts. But I shall overcome, for I am strong. I have slipped the surly bonds of America, of earth, and stand from my vantage point on the moon. I stand over uncharted new frontiers of space. I have been a silent witness to all America's finest hours. But my finest hour comes when I am torn into strips to be used as bandages for my wounded comrades on the field of battle. When I fly half-mast to honor my soldiers, and when I lay in the trembling arms of a grieving mother at the gravesite of her fallen son or daughter. I am proud. My name is Old Glory. Long may I wave. Dear God, long may I wave.
Ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, Chief Hospital Corpsman Cantu.
Shows how much I listen when we practice, because I thought I had more time. So, just like the procrastinator I am, I definitely did not write anything down, so we'll just wing it. Thank you, sir, CMC, chaps. Thank you, Mario, for coming out. I know we talked about khakis being a little snug, but hey, I'm on my way there too, so we'll be all right. Thank you, everybody, for coming. I know I'm the worst at inviting people, so those of you who are here, thank you. There's a lot of people that I can thank, but the biggest thing for me is thanking my family. Without them, I definitely wouldn't be here. So before I even joined the Navy, thank my mom for supporting me. She didn't have any questions. She supported me through all that time. Before I was married, so she was my rock before then. After about 4 years in, I moved to Great Lakes, and that's when I met my wife, Isabel. Shortly after that, probably 3 years or so after dating, we got married. And we got together at I wouldn't say I was a rough patch, but it was definitely a patch where I needed some guidance. So she definitely put me on the straight and narrow, because I used to be a really angry person, and she definitely helped me get where I needed to be. And she was my continuous support through my Navy career. Definitely wasn't always easy. And our first 4 out of my first 5 years we were married, we were unaccompanied, so it was definitely not the best time. To my kids, Mia, Aiden, Ian, those 4 years were definitely rough for us, because I missed some important years, especially Aiden and Ian. Those are elementary school years. Those are important times for you guys, so sorry for missing all of that. Landon, I'm always here for you now, since you're the baby, so you don't get to get dad being gone all the time. But I love you guys. Adriana, well, she's too busy with her drink. Hi. But I don't want to hold everybody up here too long. As much as you catch me on the side, I'll talk your ear off all day. But coming up like this, I definitely don't like talking in front of people like this. So if you want to talk, we'll talk on the side. That's all I got to say. Thank you very much, everybody, for coming.
Thank you, Chief. Chief Petty Officer Darden and Chief Petty Officer Salfrank, please escort Chief Cantu's family to the front. Commander Gill and Chief Cantu will now present his family with certificates of appreciation. To all who shall see these present, greetings. Greetings. To Isabel, Mia, Aiden, Ian, and Landon Cantu, by the authority vested in me, it is my pleasure to express the grateful appreciation of the United States Navy to you for enduring the frequent and long separation from your father and husband, Rene, as he served this country. These months, indeed years, that he spent away from you constitute a clear and noble demonstration of his love for you and his family. You see, he left you in order to ensure that you inherited a safer world, a surer peace. To those who say a single man cannot make a difference, I say wrong. Your father did. He made our Navy stronger and kept our nation safe. With his service to the Navy now complete, he will be able to spend more time with you in the future. The United States Navy thanks both you and your father for enduring these separations. Given this 7th day of November, 2025, signed, Cooper Quinton, Commander, U.S. Navy, Surface Warfare Engineering Schools Command. Undoubtedly, Chief Cantu's remarkable journey owes much of its success to the unwavering presence of his esteemed wife, Isabel, whose steadfast support served as the bedrock upon which his endeavors were built. It is a testament to the remarkable strength and resilience of the Navy wives. who valiantly uphold the fortitude and fortify the spirits of their beloved partners on the front lines of duty. Chief Petty Officer Morales will now read Creating the Navy Wife.
When the good Lord was creating Navy wives, he was in his 6th day of overtime. An angel appeared and said, "Are you having a lot of trouble with this one? What's wrong with the standard model?" The Lord replied, "Have you seen the specifications on this order? She has to be completely independent, must be sponsored to get on the base and have the quality of both mother and father during cruises, be a perfect hostess to 4 or 40, run on black coffee, handle emergencies without a Buper's manual, be able to handle the flu, birthdays, and move around the world if need be on a moment's notice. Have a kiss that can heal anything from a child's torn valentine to her husband's weary day. Have the patience of a saint when waiting for the ship to come in, and shave 6 pairs of hands." The angel shook her head slowly and said, "6 pairs of hands? No way." The Lord answered, "Don't worry. We'll create other Navy wives to help. Besides, it's not the hands that are causing the problem, it's the heart. The heart must swell with pride in her husband, sustain the ache of separations, beat on soundly and strongly when it's too tired to do so, and be large enough to say, 'I understand,' when really she doesn't, and say, 'I love you,' regardless." "Lord," said the angel, touching his sleeve gently, "come to bed. You can finish this tomorrow." "I can't," said the Lord. "I'm so close to creating something unique. Already, I have one that heals herself when she is sick, can feed 3 unexpected guests who are stuck in the area due to bad weather, and can wave goodbye to her husband from a pier and fully understand that it is important to our country that he leaves." The angel circled the model of the Navy wife very slowly. "It's too soft," she sighed. "But tough," said the Lord excitedly. "You cannot imagine what this woman can do or endure." "Can she think?" asked the angel. "Can she think? Why, she can convert 1400 to 2 p.m. Finally, the angel bent over and gently ran her fingers across the model's cheek. "There's a leak," she pronounced. "I told you that you were trying to put too much into this model." "It's not a leak," said the Lord. "It's a tear." "What for?" asked the angel. "It's for joy, sadness, pain, disappointment, loneliness, and pride." "You're a genius," exclaims the angel. The Lord looked somberly at the angel and replied, "I didn't put it there."
For 24 years, this sailor has stood the watch. While some of us were in our bunks at night, this sailor stood the watch. While some of us were in school learning our trade, this shipmate stood the watch. Yes, even before some of us were born into this world, this shipmate stood the watch. In those years when the storm clouds of war were seen, brewing on the horizon of history, this shipmate stood the watch. Many times he would cast an eye ashore and see his family standing there, needing his guidance and help, needed a hand to hold during those hard times, but he still stood the watch. He stood the watch for 20 years. He stood the watch so that we, our families, and our fellow countrymen could sleep soundly in safety each and every night, knowing that a sailor stood the watch. Today we are here to say, shipmate, the watch stand relieved by those of you who are trained, guided, and led. Shipmate, you stand relieved. You have the watch.
Anthony Robles, retired EMC, will now read the Chief Petty Officer Retirement Creed. All Chief Petty Officers, retired and active duty, please stand and cover for the reading of the Retirement Creed.
You have on this day experienced that which comes to all of us who serve on active duty in our Navy. I say our Navy because your departure from active duty in no way terminates your relationship. By law and tradition, U.S. Navy retirees are always on the roll, ever ready to lend their service when the need arises. The respect that you earned as the chief was based on the same attributes that you will now carry into retirement. You should have no regrets. Do not view your retirement as the end of an era, but rather as orders to a new and challenging assignment, to a form of independent duty. Remember well that you have been and will always be an active member of the most exclusive of all fraternities, that of the United States Chief Petty Officers. The active duty chiefs salute you. Hand salute. Ready? 2. Your retired chiefs welcome you. I wish you that the traditional fair winds and following seas. Thank you, Chief.
Thank you. You may be seated. Shadow boxes are born of an ancient naval tradition that's still practiced today, both in the militaries of the world and throughout civilian life. The shadow box is laden with items that represent the recipient's service or accomplishments or achievements. The shadow box is typically laden with personal items that depict advancement and achievements. These may include personal awards, medals, duty stations, insignias, rating badges, and uniform devices that indicate progression through various military ranks. A boatswain whistle may even be included as a reminder of both service abroad, aboard a ship, and the ceremony at which the shadow box was presented. The nation's flag is placed inside the shadow box to symbolize the country that has benefited from the faithful service of the recipient of the shadow box. Naval presentation of a shadow box can be accompanied by the following speeches. Naturally, it can be modified as circumstances dictate. On behalf of your fellow shipmates, MMC Sanders and EMC retired Robles will present you with the shadow box. Within the shadow box lie a sailor's most honored and cherished possessions, including the flag of the United States of America, representing a lifetime of valiant and faithful service. Guests and official party, please stand for the delivery of the benediction by Chaplain Rockroy.
Let us pray. Send us, O Lord, with your blessing, especially on Rene and the whole family. For every sacrifice made, add a double blessing unto them. For every trial, a double provision. Command your angels concerning them, that they would continually be under your divine protection and blessing for all their days. Amen.
Side boys post. Bosun, stand by to pipe over the side. Shipmate, going ashore. This order has been passed on naval ships from the 1500s through today. Spanish, French, English, Dutch, yes, every navy in the world has used the bosun, side boys, and call to bring aboard or send ashore all ships' companies, officers, visiting officers, and visiting dignitaries. In the late 1700s, the United States Navy set sail with new ideas, new goals, and a desire to build traditions that would stand the test of time. The U.S. Navy led the way in providing honors for crewmen. The 1800s saw enlisted men holding retirements for the first time. It was not uncommon for the commanding officer of the ship to order the jolly boat, a crew of 8 strong backs, side boys, and bosun to send an old shipmate to his retirement ashore, home. Never to set sail on a naval ship again. All hands on deck was passed and speeches were made about great victories, battles fought upon the open sea, raging storms weathered, and voyages to distant and strange lands with ports of call others only dreamed about. Today, our Navy has given most of the pomp and circumstance, the honors, traditions, and ceremonies back to history. Time does not give us the freedom to do these things from the past. Nevertheless, we still have to stop all engines, lay about smartly, and drop anchor to pay honor to one of our shipmates going ashore. We honor the years served, the guidance, the leadership, the friendship, and the expertise that this shipmate has freely given for years. Bosun, stand by to pipe over the side. Shipmate, going ashore. Will all chiefs, senior chiefs, and master chiefs, active and retired, man the rails. Ladies and gentlemen, Chief Cantu will now report to Commander Gill and request permission to go ashore for one last time. Time orderly. Strike 2 bells. Hospital Corpsman, Chief Petty Officer, United States Navy, retired, departing. Time orderly. Strike 2 bells. United States Navy, family, departing. Ladies and gentlemen, this concludes the retirement ceremony. On behalf of Chief Cantu, the entire command, I would like to thank you for taking part in this time-honored tradition.